was a machine gunner and my mate was a sniper, and we were waiting to get onto the roof to provide overwatch. And I always remember going into this compound, and I just had an eerie feeling that day. I remember thinking, we should not be out. It rained the night before. Why are we even here? Whilst I was waiting to go on the roof, I was in this lane, which is safe but not secure. I was kneeling down with my left leg, and my right leg was up with a machine gun on my side, just kind of looking at the murder holes in case the Taliban decided to have a pop. All I remember was just like a massive force of the ground. It was like a massive bang. And I remember seeing the top of the compound within split seconds, and time slowed down for me at the top of this roof, and I remember seeing the top of it and I thought, I've been blown up. My initial reaction, I hear my friend screaming at the corner of the compound, so I shouted, check yourselves over, make sure you're okay. And then I kind of thought, right, let's see what the damage is. I could hear my friends going, don't worry, we're going to get you through this. What I did, I just kept my friends talking to me, because there was a point initially where I could actually feel it, and I was kind of like, looked at my friend and I was like, keep talking to me, like I can start to feel it now, even with the morphine. And then one guy was pretty much like, you're going to sleep now, and then he literally pressed this button, and I remember just like conking out pretty much within seconds. And I woke up 5 days later in Birmingham, and I always remember this little Brummie lass like pops up and she's like, do you know where you are, mate? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Afghanistan. No, you're not, you're in Birmingham. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here, you know? So I looked out and it's raining, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm back in England. I was like Edward Scissorhands with all the wires hanging out of me, to getting in my wheelchair. They literally put me on the ground, and then they're like, get back in the wheelchair. And it took me, I always remember, it took me 6 minutes to get back in. It was like climbing Everest. I was sweating because I had no strength whatsoever. So if you imagine you're in hospital, like, you know, I was sedated for 5 days, and I just looked like a little kid because I was so skinny. When I was at Headley Court as well, it was like RoboCop City. It was phenomenal. It was amazing. And see some of the guys, how they, you know, the guys who are blind, like missing 2 limbs, the way they could just get up and get on with life. And I was just thinking, God, I'm not even that bad. But that really pushed me as well. Like, if I didn't have my family, I think that would have affected me a lot more. I think I'd have been okay, but because I had that, you know, cushion, it was just phenomenal. And also, just being with friends, being with colleagues, and just going from step by step, and it just gave me more. I think it gave me more drive because I was alive. But that was good. I was there for a year, then I was doing my outpatient stuff after that, and then I became a personal trainer for that after a while. And I did this for probably about a good 4 years. I was just like, God, I'm a bit bored now, like what else can I do? What course can I do? What can make me grow? Like, where can I get out of my comfort zone, you know? So that's why I did the motivational speaking. I couldn't really not get in my head, like people sit there and moan about stuff, and he used to just like kind of wind me up, and I thought, Luke, like, you need to, I think it'd be good for you because it will give you a bit more empathy, which it was naturally. I think that's probably more like a coping mechanism for me, because people are definitely interested, and people always go, oh, I bet you're really bored but telling the same story. And I'm like, no, because at the end of the day, people probably, they're just interested, and if they're genuinely interested, I don't mind telling it. So that's how I came across it, and it was actually quite fun. And I thought it'd be quite good to get out of my comfort zone as well, because it's completely the opposite of what I'm used to doing. You know, you're kind of warming up and you're making silly faces and all that, and, you know, theatrical people, they're all smiling, they're all happy. And you get soldiers who are a bit like, yeah, all kind of types of characters really. So we're all different. It's good to like know that people are different, and people take time and get on with things differently. You know, right, I can get on with things quite quick, but we all have a strength, we all have our weaknesses. Some things that I'm not good at, or I can suffer with, someone's going to have no issue with it, right? So Yeah, I think I don't suffer with it because just getting on with it. Yeah, and just not thinking about it and accepting it. I think acceptance is a big one for me. I like to have that growth mindset and, you know, not just get comfortable. And I think that's why I didn't really settle when I got home, because I was kind of like, well, naturally you think, oh, I got injured, I should go home. I'll go home and set up a business. And that's what I did for a while. It was fun for a while. And then one day I was just like, oh, this is not enough. So I just jetted off. And then I've not looked back since. Literally, I was always travelling around the world. I was seeing different places, different people, meeting different cultures, meeting different people, making friends overseas from different countries, from Africa to America, to the Middle East, all around Europe. That's what I thank the army for, like kind of being a bit random. Like people would be like, oh, I'll meet you next week, and they're like ringing me like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in Memphis. Like, what? And they're like, what have you been up to? And I'm like, well, I've done this, done that, done that, done that. I went out kayaking the other day with my mate. I went scuba diving, did fitness, done some work. I want to be on my deathbed, kind of looking back on life, thinking I've smashed it. I've done quite a lot for a one-legged guy. Probably not as much as when I had two legs, physically, but I've done a hell of a lot. More than most people, I'd say, able-bodied people, definitely. There becomes a stigma with disability as well. So I think they gave me a little bit more drive as well. People are like, oh, you can't do this anymore. I'm like, well, watch me.